during Chardon's 13-6 loss to the CVC powerhouse Kenston Bombers. Chardon, coming into tonight's game with a 1-1 conference record, would dearly like to vent their frustrations on the Wolverines tonight, and they have the guns to do it. Probably the most effective part of Chardon's offensive arsenal is the tailback who wears number 34, Jim O'Patterney. For West Geauga to have a chance tonight, they'll have to find a way to stop them. The Wolverines, on the other hand, have their own offensive dynamo in number 31, John Julian. In our second cable cast of the 1986 season, it was Julian's running that kept the Wolverines close to the highly favored Mayfield Wildcats. He's a durable back who can run strong up the middle, and if he finds daylight, well, he's got the foot speed to do some damage. It should be a good one tonight. Two fine teams, both in need of a victory to remain in contention for the CVC crown. So join us, won't you, here on Cablevision Sports as we bring you the Chardon Hilltoppers against the West Geauga Wolverines.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Cablevision's 6th Geauga County High School football cablecast of the 1986 season, featuring the West Geauga Wolverines against the Chardon Hilltoppers. I'm Joe Scarola, your play-by-play announcer, and to my right is John Walsh, who will be offering his expert color commentary throughout tonight's ball game. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Junction Auto Sales, automotive service professionals in Geauga County since 1931. By Century 21 On the Square Realty, put number 1 to work for you. By Geauga Fitness and Racket Club, the fun place to stay in shape. And by Destination Travel, your ticket away this fall. We'll be right back for the opening kickoff after these messages from some of our sponsors. Welcome back to Stretch Howell Field at West Geauga High School in Chesterland, Ohio. Joe Scarola along with John Walsh, and we're getting set for the kickoff of this evening's ball game under soggy conditions between the Chardon Hilltoppers, the visiting Chardon Hilltoppers, and the host West Geauga Wolverines. Don't be surprised if by the end of this first quarter, almost every number out on the field becomes illegible, and if we have problems identifying people later on in the game, well, you'll know why. You just look at the conditions, it speaks for itself. And believe me, it looks even worse in person than it does in living color, and it's beginning to rain again. Chuck Straczynski will kick off for Chardon. West G won the toss. It's a short kick taken up there by Greg Sabraco, number 37. Sabraco finds a hole through the wedge and gets out over the, looks like about the 40-yard line, out to about the 42, 43. That's going to be a source of contention tonight, too, is spotting those yard markers. First and 10 for West Geauga, and now as we look at it again, it's actually about the 34-yard line that they're on. First and 10 for West G at the 34.
Yeah, tackle was made by Chuck Cox and Brian Straczynski coming in on the special teams unit for Chardon.
John Quinlan is the quarterback for West Geauga. He has Sabraco in the slot right. Wide to the right is Tim Roethlisberger. And the give is to John Julian, and Julian fights his way out across the 40 and the 45 and up near midfield. Picked up about 15 yards, and that'll be good for a West G first down.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the running styles. Each one of the teams tonight have a premier running back. John Julian for West Geauga, Jim O'Patterney for Chardon. Both are elusive, bending, twisting, put on quick moves laterally type of people. They won't be able to do that tonight on the wet field we have here at West Geauga.
Tight to the right is Blasey, Matt Blasey, number 13. The slot right, Jim Horner, number 39. Again, the give to Julian. And this time, he has some trouble from the help from the offensive line. Wasn't there, and he picked up about a yard up to midfield. Thrown down there by Todd Lee, number 62. A gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9 for West G, squarely at the midfield stripe.
Yeah, Julian did a real good job just getting that 1 yard, because from his nose tackle position, Ed Zaletsky knifed in, grabbed hold of his ankle, almost tossed him for a 2-yard loss. Good job of running to get away from him by Julian.
First and 10 at midfield. Rolling to his right is Quinlan under heavy pressure, throws as he's hit, and the pass falls incomplete in the soggy ground intended for Matt Blasey around the 42-yard line. Fred Kyle covered on the play. It'll be 3rd down for West Geauga, 3rd and 9 at midfield.
Yeah, it was good penetration by the Chardon defensive line that time, getting in. It looked like they were there plenty of time to sack Quinlan. They just couldn't get the footing, and it kind of just fell at his ankles. Quinlan was able to get off the pass, keeping a loss from occurring. Fortunate break for West Geauga on that particular play.
West G ball, 3rd and 9 at midfield. In the slot right is Sabraco. Here's the pitch to Julian running left across midfield. He's thrown down around the 47-yard line. It's thrown down there by Bob Vincecara, number 25. Ed Seletsky, number 54, also in on the play. Gain of about 3. It'll bring up 4th and 6. And West Geauga will be forced to give us the game's first punt here.
Yeah, we could see running back Julian on that play a little tentative when it came time to make his cuts. He was feeling out, trying to figure out just exactly how good a sharp a cut he can make on this wet field. Imagine a Patterny on the other side is going to be doing the same thing.
Rick Rowan to do the punting. It's a low end-over-end kick taken by Mike Lynn around the 15, 20, across the 25 to the 26-yard line. And he was finally cut down there by Jeff Pitcock, number 14. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Chardon. We'll mark the ball at about the Chardon 26-yard line.
Now, Chardon gets a little break here early. They're not in the muddy section of the field yet. They get about 5 to 10 yards to move it till they can get. So it's possible they could get a big play ripped off here because the footing is a lot surer. You have turf there where many of the middle areas of the field are loaded with mud where you can't plan on anything at all. Interesting to see if he'll go very conservative up the middle or actually try to break one up to the field conditions.
Looks like you have fairly decent footing, you know, from the 30 back to the end zone, both sides of the field, but midfield area is just totally waterlogged. And Mike Lynn is going nowhere. He picks up about a yard, maybe 2 at the most. We'll call it a 1-yard gain at the 27. A horde of West Geauga tacklers on the play. We'll call it a 2-yard gain now. They mark it closer to the 28-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 8 for Chardon at the Chardon 28.
Yeah, that was real good penetration by that West Geauga line that time, led by Petronas and Calora. Coming in, it seems to be an evening where the offense can't get their footing while the defense can, at least this early on.
Walk up tight to the left, Neely tight to the right. They're running from the eye, and they give us to Jimmo Patterny. He gets a big hole out over the 35 up toward the 37-yard line. He has enough for a 1st down, but flags are flying.
And that was kind of in the area, Joe, where you have a hold. We'll have to see which way they point. Holding on Chardon it is.
Knew that right as soon as that umpire threw the flag. Boy, that's
just
an automatic.
Where there was nothing else that could have occurred, really.
That's an automatic when you see a flag thrown from that position. That's what it is 99.99% of the time. And that's what it was again. Holding penalty against Chardon cancels the 1st down. It takes the ball all the way back to the Chardon 18-yard line. The Hilltoppers will have it there, 2nd and 18.
That's unfortunate because that was a fine run by O'Patterny. Good blocking on that left side, aided, I suppose, by a hold, which always helps your blocking. But he did some good running, got the 1st down for Chardon, but all of that is being nullified by the holding call, and they're pushed back. Have a long distance to go on 2nd down.
Tight to the left is Walkup. Tight to the right is Neely. A fumble on the exchange. And Howard Joyner picks it up, fumbles it again, and this time West Geauga has it. The Wolverines get the first break of the ball game. We'll have to see who recovered the fumble down there. I have an idea. It was number 47, Jim Troha. We didn't have a good angle there to see who that recovery was made, but I think that Troha made it. And it'll be 1st and 10 for West Geauga inside the Chardon 20 at the 16-yard line.
Yeah, we had the bad snap exchange between the center and the quarterback, and then quarterback Joyner tried to pick it up, make the best out of it, but he never fully had control of the ball. Consequently, the fumble break goes to West Geauga.
I have a feeling that's not going to be the last time you're going to see something like that this evening with these field conditions. 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line. Wide to the right, Roethlisberger. In the slot right is Sabraco. The give to Julian. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, West Geauga. Jim Julian on the first play after the fumble by Howard Joyner takes it home, and the West Geauga Wolverines take a quick 6-0 lead.
Yeah, it was the same play West Geauga ran in their opening series. The first play of the game from offense for them, where they ran Julian off of that left tackle hole off of Henke, and with Tolaco at the guard position doing some good up front blocking, nullifying penetration by Chardon. Good blocking up front, good running by Julian. Straight ahead.
And extra point attempt is up and no good. It was Joe Sennett who missed the extra point. And we have timeout on the field. 7 minutes, 45 seconds to play of the first quarter with our score. West Geauga 6, Chardon nothing. We'll be back after this timeout on Cablevision. Seconds to play here in the first quarter at Stretch Howell Field at West Geauga High School. And John Julian runs 16 yards following a Howard Joyner fumble. Very first play following the fumble, as a matter of fact, to put West G on top here. Once again, it'll be Sennett attempting to, he will kick it off here. And it's a low, short kick taken by Jim O'Patterney at the 20, 25, 30, breaks a tackle, 35. He's out over the 40, and he's finally brought to a halt around the 43-yard line of Chardon. A 23-yard return by Jim O'Patterney, and Chardon will have good field position under normal circumstances. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Yes, that's the type of running O'Patterney can do very effectively. He doesn't put the moves on. He kind of waits for the defender to come up, then puts the brakes on, lets him shoot past him, accelerates again. That you can do on a wet field like this. Occasionally it'll happen where you go to put the brakes on, the feet will slip. But for the most part, it's a heck of a lot easier than making a sharp lateral cut like he normally does.
1st and 10 at the 43. Howard Joyner gives the football to Mike Lynn, and he's thrown for a big loss back at about the 40-yard line. Daryl Kalura was right in there on top of him. 3-yard loss on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 13 for Chardon back at the Chardon 40.
Yeah, penetration was made by that whole left side of the defensive line for West Geauga. Like Joe mentioned, Daryl Kalura led it. Patronis, the end, helped him, and Frank Callow from his nose position was also in on the tackle.
Kalura was in there so fast that he almost got there before the exchange was completed. 2nd down and 13 at the 40-yard line for Chardon. Joyner handing the ball to O'Patterney. O'Patterney fights his way back over the 40 across the original line of scrimmage toward the 45. That's what we'll give him on forward progress. A gain of about 5 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd and 8 for Chardon at the Chardon 45-yard line. Earlier this week, we had a chance to talk to the Chardon cheerleaders and ask them who they thought would win tonight's ball game. Third down and 8 at the 45-yard line. In motion to the right comes Mike Lynn. Joyner pitches it left to O'Patterney, 45, and he's thrown down about the 48-yard line. Once again, outstanding pursuit by the West Geauga defense, in particular, Leif Johnson, number 52, a junior. It's a gain of 3. It'll bring up 4th and 5, and Chardon will be forced to punt on 4th and 5 at the Chardon 48-yard line.
Yeah, it seems to be early on. I see one little trend by the coaches in their play selection this evening. They seem to be running away from the mud. Wherever the muddy area is or something, they try to find one little island of sod and head for that area. That occasion, they happen to be on the left side, outside, where they sent O'Patterney on that run.
John Julian deep to receive this punt for Mike Scaleris, and he'll take it at about the 23-yard line, cuts across the 25, moving to the outside, and he's running laterally and thrown down as he reaches the 29-yard line. Knocked out of bounds there by the Chardon Hilltoppers, and in particular, number 42, Bill Bailey. A little controversy there on the sidelines, but nothing comes of it. A 6-yard punt return. It'll be 1st and 10 for West Geauga at the West Geauga 29-yard line with 4:52 to play here in the first quarter and the clock running.
Yeah, and that particular player was good special teams work by Mike Hummel, who grabbed an arm, kept it, because he had the sideline open a little bit. Might have been able to outmaneuver the other defenders ahead of him.
Once again, John Quinlan is the quarterback. He has Sabraka wide to the left, Roethlisberger wide to the right. This time, the give goes up the middle to Nick Lorenzo, the fullback, number 36. He picks up about 3 yards on the play across the 30 to about the 32. It'll be 2nd and 7 for West G at the West G 32-yard line.
Tonight, Chardon's doing a little bit of shifting on their defensive front, moving them, just sliding them over a couple feet here or there. On that touchdown run, they got burned a little bit by pulling the right tackle too close to the end, which opened up the hole even wider for where the ball carrier wanted to go.
Quinlan hands the ball to Julian across the 30s out to about the 34. Thrown down there by Dave Scanlon, who we can see, and several others who we can't, although Ed Seletsky, number 54, Chuck Cox, number 36, now up off the pile. A gain of about 2. It'll be 3rd down and 5 for Chardon at the 34-yard line, or for West Geauga at the 34-yard line. We have a timeout. West Geauga wants timeout. 3 minutes, 40 seconds to play in the first quarter with our score. West Geauga 6, Chardon nothing. We'll be back after this timeout on Cablevision. It's to play here in the first quarter at Stretch Howell Field at West Geauga High School. And after the timeout, West G has the ball 3rd and 5 at their own 34-yard line. Wide to the right is Sabraco, and motion left comes Nick Lorenzo. And the give is to John Julian running left. He gets across the 35 to about the 36. He's short of the first down by a couple of yards. A flag is flying, and I have an idea we have a holding penalty against West G, which may very well be declined here to bring up the 4th down.
I would think so, Joe. I know I definitely would decline it. Go for the ball because there's still considerable distance to get that first down. Why push him back, give him another play? Because they do have the talents of Julian running the ball, who can break a big one at any time. They also have the talents of Quinlan throwing to his favorite receiver, Blasey, the end position. So, well, they are taking the penalty. They're giving West Geauga one more opportunity to get the first down.
I don't know about you, John, but John Julian sure looks like a mutter to me.
Yeah, well, it's hard to say right now. On his touchdown burst, he did that on a dry portion of the field, assuming there is such a thing as a dry portion on this field. We'll have to see. This will be, I'm assuming it's going to go to the air. We're finally going to see Quinlan with the first pass of the game.
3rd down and about 17 for West Geauga. Quinlan rolling to his right under heavy pressure and throws the ball. It slips out of his hand as he throws it and falls incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down. And the West Geauga Wolverines will be forced to punt from deep in their own territory. Rick Rowan again will do the kicking. Deep to receive for Chardon. Howard Joyner, number 17, furthest away from you. And Mike Lynn, closest to you, number 23.
Yeah, it was Quinlan had great pressure from Bill Bailey coming out of his end position, making an attempt to grab him and making that pass go errant.
Rick Rowan has the ball go right off the side of his foot, and it's going to roll out of bounds. Very short kick. Rolls out right around the 35-yard line. And we'll call that about an 11-yard punt. It'll be 1st and 10 for Chardon. Chardon has a golden opportunity. 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line of West Geauga.
Yeah, that's another one of those caused by the condition of the field. I imagine we'll probably, like Joe alluded to earlier, probably be several turnovers, fumbles, snaps between center and quarterback, punts off the side of the foot, all kinds of air tonight because this field is in miserable shape.
1st and 10 for Chardon. Howard Joyner gives the ball to Jim O'Patterney, and O'Patterney picks up about 2 yards, possibly 3, down toward the 32. We'll keep giving you those numbers as long as we can see them. Darrell Kalura, number 57, in on the tackle. Gain of 3. It'll be 2nd and 7 for Chardon at the West G 32-yard line.
Yeah, I see there are some of these jerseys are becoming very colored right now. Like one noticeably I noticed is Mike Lynn out on the field is just totally, you can't read his number. Fortunately, we know where he lines up and all, so we'll be able to tell who he is.
Scolaris in the slot right. Tight to the right is Neely. Tight to the left is Wacob. And motion left comes Scolaris. O'Patterney left, Lynn right in the tee. Howard Joyner to throw. Fires toward the sideline. It's incomplete. Bill Coach, number 11, broke up the play. It'll bring up 3rd down. That was defensive play by Bill Coach.
Yes, it was, very much so. But it was a strange pattern run by Chardon where they had 2 receivers, you know, like sandwiched. They had Bill Coach sandwiched between them. It was an odd little pattern. It was like Chardon was playing the secondary man and Coach was the receiver. Very odd to see a pattern run with 2 receivers, you know, within 3-4 yards of each other.
3rd and 7 for Chardon at the 32-yard line of West G. Scolaris in the slot right now. He comes in motion left. O'Patterney left and Lynn right in the tee. Give on the misdirection to O'Patterney is across the 30 to about the 29-yard line. Knocked down there by number 22, Brett Schultz, along with a few other West G players in there. Kalura in on the tackle again, number 57. Also number 52, Leif Johnson. It'll bring up 4th down 4th down and 4 yards to go for Chardon at the 29-yard line, and let's see what the Hilltoppers decide to do. Of course, they'll go for it here with these field conditions. No way you can try to kick the ball on this kind of a surface. Scolaris comes out wide to the right now. Tight to the right is Neely. Tight to the left is Waycott. O'Patterney left and Lynn right in the tee as Howard Joyner rolls to his right to throw under heavy pressure. He fires. It is caught by Mike Neely. He's down around the 10-yard line of West G, and he has a Chardon first down.
Yeah, it was a nice pass to him by Joyner. He floated out there. Neely had his body position, turned to the sideline. There was a nice safe one that could have been intercepted, even though an interception actually would have worked to Chardon's advantage in that case. But it was a nice reception. The ball was just laid in there very nicely by quarterback Joyner. Good play by Chardon.
Chardon will have the football just outside the 12-yard line of West G. They'll have it there 1st and 10. Scolaris comes out wide to the right. Tight to the right is Neely. Tight to the left is Waycobb. Howard Joyner doesn't like what he sees, and with 46 seconds to play in the first quarter, he asks for a timeout. So, John, you got any observations about this quagmire out here while we're at it?
Well, I'll tell you, just to explain the situations in this field, Kenston has their field being torn apart right now, so they are using West Geauga through the graciousness of the high school itself to use their field as their home field. So essentially between that, soccer games, etc., this field is getting double the action it normally would get. And with this last week of the heavy rains we've been having and all, it's made it even worse. So between usage and the weather conditions themselves, this field is just taking a beating, and it looks terrible. We still have, what, 4 games to go yet after tonight.
Exactly.
So I imagine this field there's going to be a lot of work done in the spring to get this field ready for next football season, I'm sure.
Have an idea there's going to be plenty of sod laid here at West G.
Oh, I'm sure of that, Joe. It's going to be a very expensive venture to improve this field.
Boy, poor Huey Marshall's going to have his hands full, I'll tell you.
Is that the groundskeeper in this vicinity?
1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. And tight to the left is Waycobb. Tight to the right is Neely. And the slot right is Scolaris. Scolaris now comes in motion left. O'Patterney left and Lynn right in the tee. And the give is to Mike Lynn, who gets down inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. It's thrown down there by Jeff Pitcock after a 4-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 6 for Chardon at the West Geauga 8-yard line.
Yeah, now Chardon's back in that area where they can use a little bit of footing because they do have turf. They're out of the real quagmire situations right now. We'll get to see if they open up their offense a little bit, because thus far it's been very conservative, very straight ahead type of football.
2nd down and 6 at the 8-yard line. Tight to the left is Waycobb. Tight to the right is Neely, and the slot right is Scolaris. Lynn up, O'Patterney back in the eye. The give is to Jim O'Patterney. He gets a big hole, and he's across the 5 down around the 3-yard line. He is very close to the yardage needed for a Chardon first down.
Yeah,
And that's the end of the first quarter. The first quarter is over here at Stretch Howell Field in Chesterland, Ohio, with our score. The West Geauga Wolverines 6, the Chardon Hilltoppers nothing. We'll be back with second quarter action after this timeout on Cablevision. With John Walsh from Stretch Howell Field at West Geauga High School. Chardon with the football. 3rd down and less than a yard to go. They're back around the 3-yard line. Waycobb comes in motion right. Here's the give to Mike Lynn, and he is in for the touchdown. Mike Lynn, at least we think it's Mike Lynn. It's an awful lot of mud on his back, but he's in for the score, whoever he is. With 11:58 to play here in the first half, it's West Geauga 6, Chardon 6.
Yeah, I have to say, I believe that was Mike Lynn scoring on that one. That's a play Chardon used to run pretty routinely 2-3 years ago, when they put the tight end in motion, slow motion, when they get to the far side tackle position. He cuts in and becomes a lead blocker in essence on that. It's not really a trap play. It's more a lead blocking situation where they use the tight end. I haven't seen Chardon use that the last couple of years, though, in the games we've been covering.
Chuck Straczynski will attempt the extra point under less than ideal conditions, and the snap is down, the kick is up, and it is good. Just barely made it through. Just barely went over the crossbar. He put it home, and Chardon leads at 7-6.
Yeah, there was a big moan from the West Geauga squad over here, thinking that the point was not good. And quite honestly, from my viewpoint, I thought it was off to the right.
From our angle, it looked wide, but we don't have a very good angle. We're kind of looking like, you know, from left to right and down the line. And we don't have a good angle to see that, but if it made it, it sure didn't make it by much.
Yeah, but anyhow, the points on the scoreboard, and that's really what counts right now.
They say a miss is as good as a mile, right? Yeah.
And a make is as good as, what, a foot, or how's that go?
Yeah, I don't know how the other part of it goes. All I ever heard is a miss is as good as a mile.
Anyhow, score Chardon 7, West G 6.
11:58 to play here in the first half. Chuck Straczynski will kick it off for Chardon. Deep to receive, a triumvirate of West G players. Rick Rowan closest to you. In the middle is John Julian. On the right, Greg Sabraco. Instead, it's taken by an up man. And it may have been a squib kick, and I believe it's recovered by West G across the 40 out to the 42-yard line. And that's where they'll have it. And in the Mud Bowl here, we're not even going to try to tell you who carried that football because it was just nothing but a pile of mud.
I think it was Steve Darris that received that, one of the up-backs for West Geauga. And it was just a strange kick. I don't know. I think Straczynski could get his feet planted well enough to get it up. I don't know if he tried to deliberately kick a short one or not, but I think it was just a case of field positions being bad. Couldn't plant properly to get a boom out of the kick he routinely does get.
Okay, this is a good time for us to remind you that there are 24 United Way agencies in and around Geauga County which serve people in need of care. Thanks to the folks of Geauga and neighboring vicinities, the greater Cleveland community is #1 in per capita giving among United Way organizations across the nation. But despite your outstanding record of generosity, the documented needs for health and human services in this community alone continue to escalate at a rate far faster than the amount of funds being raised to meet those needs. Your charitable dollars will help support many area programs, all concerned with helping those in need of care. Remember, thanks to United Way, it works for all of us. Give to United Way. 11 minutes and 39 seconds to play here in the first half. The clock is running as West Geauga has the football 1st and 10 at their own 42-yard line. Here's the pitch by Quinlan to Julian. Julian cutting across the 40. He's thrown out of bounds right around the line of scrimmage. Looked like Chuck Cox pushed him out. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10 for West G at the West G 42.
That was a good job of the Chardon defense stringing that play out. Julian had it. He tried to hook it in 2-3 times along the way. All of a sudden, he was in the Chardon bench area, and there was no more room. He had crossed the sideline area. Good job by the Chardon defense as a whole.
2nd down and 9 yards to go as they mark the ball closer to the 43-yard line for West G. Quinlan gives the ball again to Julian. He's across the 45. Out toward the 48-yard line, picked up about 4, and it'll bring up 3rd and 5 for West G at the West G 47.
Yes, West G is getting good work out of their line. They're starting to gel a little bit, shoot out, nullify the Chardon defensive line where they're not getting any penetration at all, open up the little lanes, which with the good ball carriers that West G has this season, could possibly break one at any time if they get themselves out in the secondary range, put on their own moves, and go from there.
3rd down and 5 for the West Geauga Wolverines. Again, the give to Julian. He fights his way across midfield to the 49-yard line. Gain of about 4. It will leave West G again short of a 1st down. They'll have 4th and about 2, we'll call it. And the West Geauga Wolverines at this point with 4th and 2 squarely at midfield will opt to punt in this situation, and Chardon will get it back on the punt. Deep to receive, Howard Joyner and Mike Lynn once again for Chardon.
And the kicker is in a very muddy part of the field. He's going to have to be extremely careful here.
Rick Rowan got a good snap, and he booms off a really good kick considering the conditions. It's going to roll dead down around the 10. No, it's picked up at the 9 by Joyner. He's across the 10, and boy, does he take a shot at the 14-yard line. He was pummeled there by number 44, Rick Salk. It's about a 5-yard return. A nice kick by Rick Rowan under those conditions. 41 yards with a 5-yard return. Chardon ball deep in their own territory, 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
Actually, Joe, that was a nice kick under any conditions. A very exceptional kick under the conditions in the area of the field that he was kicking on. An excellent job of getting the ball off with good distance by kicker Rowan.
If we had decent field conditions here, that ball probably would have rolled another 6 or 7 yards. Easy. That's a 1st and 10 for Chardon at the Chardon 14-yard line. Tight to the left is Wycob. Tight to the right is Neely. In the slot right is Scolaris. The give is on the crossing play to Mike Lynn. He's across the 15 out to about the 17-yard line. Thrown down there by Jeff Pitcock after a 3-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and 7 for Chardon at the Chardon 17.
I've noticed the last couple of series or so, the West G linebackers are starting to get more and more active, that being Pitcock and Johnson. They're making themselves a factor in this game, competing strongly with the strong linebacking core Chardon has of Scanlon and Cox, who are outstanding as far as I'm concerned. I see West Geauga is definitely right in that same area of excellence.
2nd down and 7 at the 17-yard line. Tight to the left is Wycob. Tight to the right is Neely. In the slot right, Scolaris. And they're in the eye now. It's Lynn up and O'Patterney back in the eye. Scolaris comes in motion left. Joyner pitches the ball to Mike Lynn. And again, Mike Lynn takes it out to about the 19-yard line. We'll give him a 2-yard gain on that play. It'll be 3rd and 5 for Chardon at the Chardon 19.
Yeah, Chardon, I doubt if they'll put it in the air in this situation, because again, they're in one of those sections of the field for the next 10 yards or so, where they're not in the real muddy conditions. They can get the footing, go ahead with their running game to pick up the 1st down, the game that they so love. I'll be really surprised to see Chardon go in the air. In a muddy situation on the field, if they were in one of the bad spots, I would say they'd go in the air, but I expect to see the ball put on the ground.
3rd down and 5 at the 19-yard line. The slot left is Scolaris, and the give is to O'Patterney across the 20. He's out to about the 22, maybe the 23. Was actually pushed forward about a yard or 2. And he's going to be about a yard short of the 1st down. He picked up 4 on the play. It'll be 4th and 1, and Chardon will be forced to punt.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see on Scolaris' punt when he goes, if he tries to angle it towards one of the muddy sections of the field to keep the kick returner from getting very good footing to get any sort of a return out of it at all. Which he should kick it to his right, the top part of the screen, if you will, to get it to the real muddy section.
To the bottom of your screen, deep to receive for West G is John Julian, number 31. To the top of your screen is Steve Darris, number 8. Scolaris to do the punting. It's a high, fairly short kick taken on a roll by Julian at midfield, and he is thrown down after nice work by the Chardon special teams. Only a 1-yard gain on the return. A decent punt by Scolaris, again under the field conditions. 31 yards with a 1-yard return. West G will have the ball 1st and 10 at the Chardon 49-yard line.
Yeah, it was Jim O'Patterney on that tackle pulling down Julian. The 2 counterparts meeting up on special team work. It's kind of nice to see, too. One of the players coming in for offense for Chardon, or for West Geauga, helped O'Patterney up on his way into the huddle area. That's good to see sportsmanship like that happen.
1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Sabraco comes in motion to the left. And here's the give to Julian. He picks up about a yard to the 48. He's tripped up in the backfield by Ed Seletsky. We can still read Ed's number 54, gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9 at the 48-yard line for West G.
Yeah, we can still read Ed's number one-dimensionally. From the back, I can't see it at all. No, excuse me, from the front you can't see it. In the back is where it is legible right now. If he happens to take one flop in the mud on his back, we're going to have to make guesswork as to who makes the tackle when it's him.
Roethlisberger comes wide to the right, tight to the left is Blasey. In the slot left is Jim Horner, number 39. Quinlan to throw over the middle, caught by Blasey. Boy, that was a nice catch. A hard ball to hold on to. It'll be 1st and 10. No, they're going to call it incomplete. I guess he didn't hold it. Either he didn't hold it or, yeah, okay, it's an incomplete pass. So it's 3rd down. So I was wrong.
Well, it happens, Joe. I don't think any less of you for that.
Gee, thanks, John.
Matt Blasey is an outstanding receiver, probably one of the best in the CVC thus far this year that I've seen. we haven't covered all the teams yet. And I'll tell you one thing about this West Giant. It's impressing me again. I think they're the most improved and probably the best 1-4 team I've seen in years.
Dino Ferrando comes wide to the right, number 20. Rolling to his right is Quinlan. Now he cuts back, fires over the middle, caught by Blasey. This time he did hold on to it, but he's thrown down about the 43-yard line, and he will be a wee bit short of the first down. It'll be 4th down and less than a yard, and Mike Poe's guy, in light of the terrible field conditions, is not going to gamble at this point, especially this early in the game. He'll punt it away to Chardon.
So Rowan has to do his magic a little bit again because he's in one of the bad parts of the field again for his kicking. See if he can pull off another great punt like he did last time.
Once again, Rick Rowan, it's a good effort under the conditions again. Fumbled by Lynn, who picks it up at about the 10, and he skates his way across the 15 out toward the 18-yard line. That was a pretty impressive punt there. A punt by Rick Rowan of 39 yards with an 8-yard return. And we'll take timeout here. 5:26 to play in the first quarter. Our score, Chardon 7, West G 6. We'll be back after this timeout on Cablevision. Number 1, Chardon 7, West Geauga 6, our score. And the Chardon Hilltoppers have the football 1st and 10 at their 18-yard line. And the give is to O'Patterney. He gets across the 20, maybe to the 21. He picked up 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7.
Yeah, it's extremely tough footing out there tonight. You can just see it because between both ball carriers. Julian had a nice breakaway, straight-ahead run on that touchdown he had earlier. O'Patterney hasn't had much of an opportunity this evening because of the footing to show his magic as of yet. Though I wouldn't be surprised to see either one of them just able to find that one solid piece of turf, plant their foot, and again break another long one.
Clock is running, 4:27 to play here in the first half. 2nd and 7 for Chardon at the Chardon 21. Coming in motion right now, it looks like O'Patterney, and the pitch is to O'Patterney rather. It was Mike Lynn who came in motion, and O'Patterney gets across the 25. Out near the 27, maybe the 28-yard line. Is going to be a wee bit short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and maybe about a yard for a Chardon first down.
Yeah, it was a real nice play there. A little dangerous with the wet ball conditions. You got 2 ball carriers. A quarterback and a ball carrier who have the hands, where you can get the mud on the ball just a little bit coming up from the center position and all. It's tough. I'm surprised to see a pitch, though. That is the only one we've had thus far in this game. It's pretty much a direct handoff night because of all the problems with field conditions.
I'm really surprised the ball has been handled as well as it has been in this game, because, well, that ball really gets slick, especially when you're sitting right there in the mud. That run by O'Patterney is not going to count, by the way. We have a penalty against Chardon for holding. It'll make it 2nd and forever for the Hilltoppers. Actually, it'll be 2nd and 19 back around the 9-yard line.
I think that was an illegal block, Joe.
Oh, it was an illegal block. Okay.
One of the down men leading O'Patterney on that pitch out, blocked below the waist, which is an illegal in high school ruling.
2nd down and 19 for Chardon. It's Neely tight to the left, Waycobb tight to the right, and the slot right is Scaleras. And the give is to Mike Lynn, and Mike Lynn is going nowhere. No, that's O'Patterney, rather. Now we see Mike Lynn's number. It's barely visible. Jim O'Patterney's number, however, is not. He carried the ball for about a 1-yard gain. It'll be 3rd and 18 for Chardon at the Chardon 10-yard line.
Yeah, I'll tell you, these jersey numbers are dropping off left and right. Just one flopping in the mud, and whoever that player is, he's pretty much unrecognizable for us for the rest of the evening. I understand West Geauga at halftime is going to change jerseys, put on their practice jerseys, so they'll be fresh coming out 2nd half. I'm not sure if Chardon is going to be doing the same thing, if they brought an extra set of jerseys. We'll have to see.
3rd down and 18 for Chardon at the Chardon 10. Howard Joyner gives the ball again to Jim O'Patterney. This time he picks up about 2 yards out to the 12. It'll bring up 4th and 17. The Hilltoppers will be forced to punt. And I believe we have it'll be 4th down and 17, and once again a Chardon punt, and we have a timeout on the field. Timeout on the field, 2:58 to play in the first half with our score, Chardon 7, West Geauga 6. We'll be back to play here in the first half at Stretch Howell Field at West Geauga High School. Joe Scarola along with John Walsh, and there's a high kick by Mike Scaleras. John Julian trips and falls trying to field the ball, and he's thrown down at midfield. Thrown down right there by the Chardon Hilltoppers. I believe it was number 44, Mike Hummel, in on the play. Yeah, it was. As we see him running off the field, he has a clean jersey. No wonder we were able to pick him out.
Yeah, and that's the second tackle tonight.
Yeah.
I think he's fallen on his face. We're seeing the jersey from the back as he goes back to the bench area. I bet the front of it is muddy.
The man must lead a charmed life. You know, 1st and 10 at midfield. Tight to the right is Blasey. Wide to the left is Sabraco. In the slot left is Roethlisberger. It's Lorenzo left, Julian right in the tee. The give is to John Julian. He fumbles the football at the 49-yard line, but I believe he got it back. There's a gain of 1 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 9 for West G at the Chardon 49.
Okay, back me up in this or disagree, Joe, but I think that was Ed Zaletsky on that tackle. What do you think?
I think it was.
It just seemed to be the area, and I tell you, Ed is a total mud ball out there. He's just totally saturated with mud. I'm sure the inside of him is just covered with mud also.
We'll get back to this story here in just a minute. 2nd down and 9 at the 49-yard line for West G. Here's the give to Nick Lorenzo, and he is pummeled right as he reaches the line of scrimmage by Chuck Cox. No gain. It'll be 3rd and 9. There used to be a game, in fact, they may still be playing it for all I know, out here at West Geauga on this field, as a matter of fact, or one of the fields right around here. They had the Turkey Day game. I don't know whether they still have that or not, where a bunch of maniacs, you know, go out and play in the mud. They find the muddiest weather possible, and they go out and play right in the middle of it, you know, and those guys love that stuff. You know, you'd see guys out there 30, 35 years old, you know, like little kids, you know, in the mud. It was just amazing. And 2nd down and 9. Here's the give to Julian, 40, 35. He fights his way to the 32-yard line of Chardon, and he has a 1st down. Tackled there by a couple of Chardon players. We'll find out who they are.
Yeah, that was a beautiful run by Julian. Good up front blocking by the right side of the defensive line, led by Stevnicki and Fortenbach, who opened a nice little lane for Julian to do his magic with, and Julian did. Excellent running, excellent up front blocking.
1st and 10 at the 32-yard line. That Turkey Day game was a tradition around here for years, and a lot of the guys who played in it have moved away, but I wonder whether they're still playing that game. Maybe somebody can tell me here. John Quinlan rolling to the right, 35, knocked out of bounds about the 31. He picked up a yard, but the referees are going to take a few more than that because there's a flag flying. Once again, it's thrown by an umpire, which means holding, and that's exactly what it is. It's a holding call against West Geauga.
Yeah, that was a strange place for a hold, actually, because the quarterback was rolling to his right, and the flag was thrown towards the middle of the field. It would have taken whoever was held quite a while to get to the quarterback to keep out. It was a bad choice to have a hold on that call. Should just let him go. I doubt if he would have got involved in the play.
48 seconds to play here in the 1st half. Of course, we'll have music at halftime. We'll also have a feature with the Chardon cheerleaders, if I'm not mistaken, that we've been waiting to show you for about 3 weeks now, and we never had a chance to get it in before. If you're waiting for that, this week is the week. It is finally going to arrive.
For sure, Joe?
Yes, for sure. 48 seconds to play here in the 1st half. West Geauga's football, they have it 1st and 20. Back at the 42-yard line. Quinlan rolling to his right, fires it short and incomplete, intended for Blasey. Down around the 35. It'll be 2nd and 20. 44 seconds to play.
I tell you, quite honestly, I admire this thinking of Coach Poe's guy. He's not content to go down with being to a deficit of 7-6 at halftime. He wants to go into halftime with a lead. He's really trying to get that ball down so he can get some points on the board.
I tell you, it takes some guts to throw the ball in this slop.
Sure.
2nd down and 20 at the 42-yard line. Wide to the left is Roethlisberger, and the slot left for West Geauga is Herman. Here's the give to Julian. Julian breaks a tackle, 35, 30, 25. He is knocked out of bounds down around the 22-yard line, and he may well be within measuring distance of a West Geauga 1st down. John Julian with another outstanding run for West G, and the clock is stopped with 37 seconds to play here in the 1st half, and it is a 1st down.
Yeah, that was nice running. It was like Julian hesitated, waiting for the defender who had him to reach a muddy part of his uniform where he could slide right down. Then he just took off again and let him slide off of him. It was a real nice job of shaking that Chardon defender who had him downfield before he got much yardage out of that run.
Once again, the clock is stopped. 37 seconds to play in the first half. Of course, you know, remind you, of course, every Monday and Thursday as they come out to measure here to see, in fact, whether they did get the first down. You can see CVC football action right here on Cablevision Channel 9. You'll see a lot of good things on Cablevision Channel 9. Of course, I guess we'll have basketball for you this year, too. At least that's what they're telling me. And you can catch a lot of other football action, all kinds of college football action over the weekend on ESPN Channel 34 and USA Channel 41. So, you know, keep your set tuned to Cablevision. You'll get all kinds of good football action all fall long.
Yeah, West G came up about a foot short on that particular play. I'm sure it's no doubt they're going to be going for it. It'll just be interesting to see if they do a fake little buck into the line and go for the deep one to get the 6 points out of this play. I think Chardon will be lulled into thinking they're strictly going for a first down. They might try to break it into a big game winner because they do have the 2 downs to get it.
Of course, at halftime, we will see the bands as we have another timeout here, and I believe this one called by Chardon as Bob Doyle is going to come out and have a chat with all the folks out there. That's out in the Chardon defense.
Maybe he was thinking exactly what I was. Don't be sure that they're just going to go to pick up the first down. They might try the big one, so you secondary people, drop off, be prepared for a pass play, come up with a fake play-action pass.
Oh, we saw Mike Poe's guy do that earlier in the season against Mayfield. And West Geauga was faced with fourth about a yard down around the Mayfield 9-yard line. And they went for it, and it was a rollout play, if I remember right. It didn't work, but they took a shot at throwing the ball, you know, going for the big play. And they may very well do it again, especially in a situation where they have third down, you know, have another down to run the ball if they wind up with an incompletion, something along that line. 3rd and 1 at the 37-yard line, because they only have 37 seconds left. Sabraco comes wide to the right, tight to the left is Blasey. Quinlan to throw under heavy pressure, fires. It is tipped in and out of the hands of Blasey. Incomplete. I think it was Bill Henderson covering on the play, number 30 down at the 15-yard line. It'll bring up 4th down. It is 4th and 1 for West G with 32 seconds to play in the half.
Yeah, that's another one of those players with the real muddy jersey. Bill Henderson's as good a guess as I can come up with too, Joe. It's really hard to judge who that was. I tried to read his number and I couldn't.
It is unbelievable. We cannot tell you how much mud the rain has left in Northeast Ohio. It's just amazing. The give is to Julian. He takes it down to the 20, picks up about 2 yards. It'll be good for a first down, and immediately West Geauga stops the clock with 28 seconds to play in the half.
Yeah, just as we were seeing, Joe, they did have the shot, took the shot at the pass, tried to get the big yardage out of it because they knew they could fall back. They had another down coming up where they could go for the first down, which they did and completed successfully.
Certainly did, I'll tell you. We'll have a lot of good action for you the next 4 weeks of the season here on Cablevision, Geauga County High School football. Of course, we cannot tell you where we will be in advance because of our arrangements with the schools in question. Of course, we can tell you that, you know, you'll see either Chardon or West Geauga or Kenston or Chagrin Falls, the 4 schools in our coverage area. You'll see at least one of those teams and possibly 2 every week. And we do our best to bring you high school football action for the 2nd consecutive year here on Cablevision Channel 9.
Yeah, hopefully some of this stuff will get sorted out. We'll start getting a tighter race in here. Right now we have Wycliffe and Kenston out front with just the 2 wins, no losses as of yet. A lot of teams with just a 1 loss behind them. It can get bunched up real quick. Tonight we have Solon playing Wycliffe, so it's possible Wycliffe could get their first loss because they're front up against a fine Solon team.
Very, very tough ball club there from Solon. 1st and 10, and pitches to Darris, throwing it into the end zone, and it is in and out of the hands of John Julian right at the goal line. Oh, that was the old lateral, you know, to the back, and then he fires it upfield, you know, across the field toward Julian. Julian tried to make a diving catch right at the goal line, but he could not hang on to that slippery ball, and it'll be 2nd and 10 with 23 seconds to play in the half.
Yeah, the pass was a little bit overthrown. I'll tell you, Julian, though, did beat his man. He was in the open. The play work just wasn't executed properly.
2nd down and 10. 23 seconds to play. 2nd and 10 from the 20-yard line. Quinlan steps into the pocket, fires down the middle. It is caught by Sabraco. Touchdown. Touchdown, West Geauga. Sabraco wide open behind the Chardon defense. Split the seam in the zone. Quinlan put that wet ball right on the money. And West Geauga is back on the board. And with 18 seconds to play in the first half, the Wolverines lead at 12-7.
Yeah, that was a sharp pass by Quinlan and a good diving catch by Sabraco on that particular play. That's nice to see. Like I mentioned before, I admire Coach Poza guy for not just being complacent, going in just 1 point down. He wanted to go into halftime with a lead. And that's, unless a miracle occurs for Chardon, that's exactly what he's going to be doing.
12-7, and I imagine that West G is going to go for 2 in this situation. They are. Wide to the right comes Roethlisberger. In the slot right for West Geauga is Rocco. Here's the give to Julian, and he will not score. He'll be taken down about the 1-yard line, so the attempt for the 2-point conversion is no good. With 18 seconds to play here in the first half, it's West Geauga 12, Chardon 7.
I tell you, like I alluded to momentarily earlier in the game here, this West Geauga is definitely a misleading 1-4. You look at a record like 1-4, you expect a very weak pushover team. This is the second occasion we've covered West Geauga this year, and they're anything but a pushover team. They're a very strong, fundamentally sound football team, and vastly improved over last year's squad, and they're definitely going to be a factor in this CVC. Maybe not a contender, but they're definitely going to be up there and enough to cause trouble for some of the people who are contenders.
"18 seconds to play here in the first half.
Imagine this kick, Joe, will be put on the ground. They won't get it up where there'll be any kind of a run back at all.
No reason for him to put it up.
Slop around in the mud a little bit.
Benet will kick off for West Geauga, and it is a squib kick right on the ground, taken by one of the Chardon up man who's going to return it. That's Mike Lynn. He cuts to the outside. He has one man to beat, and he doesn't beat him. He's thrown down there by Chris Veras, number 19, and Chardon will have the football at about the fact they'll be in West Geauga territory at about the 46-yard line with 9 seconds to play in the first half.
What do you think, Coach Doyle will be comfortable going in at halftime with the score 12-7, or will he try to put some points quick and go to the air for one big play?
I guess you might see some kind of a trick play, but I think it might be more of a trick running play than a trick passing play. Well, you're not going to see any play at all because they let the clock run out, and that's the end of the first half. The first half is over here at Stretch Howell Field in Chesterland, Ohio, with our score. West Geauga 12, Chardon 7. We'll have the bands for you at halftime right here on Cablevision. Then we'll come right back with the second half. So stay tuned.
McClintock, number 44 for the CVC Conference leader Kenston Bombers, is this week's recipient of the Junction Auto Sales MVP Award. McClintock, with this third quarter touchdown run, sparked the Bombers to a 13-6 victory over the Chardon Hilltoppers last Friday night. The people of Cablevision Sports and Junction Auto Sales congratulate Ken McClintock. Trophies for this award are provided by Fraternally Yours Gift Shop in Chardon.
Julian across the 15, cuts over the 20, and he's thrown down by a horde of Chardon players as he reaches the 21. Thrown down there, I believe, by number 76, Carl Ferrara. It'll be 1st and 10 for, not number 76, Carl Ferrara, was number 36 of Chardon, Chuck Cox. 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Just by way of explanation, West Geauga now is in the white jerseys, Chardon is in the dark jerseys. They both put on their respective alternate uniforms to start the second half. A good idea by both coaching staffs.
1st and 10 at the 25. Quinlan gives the ball to Julian, and Julian is out to about the 27-yard line. It's thrown down there by Dave Scanlon after a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 for West G at the West G 27.
I suspect we'll see pretty much what we saw in the first half, just straight ahead football, nothing fancy, because the field conditions will not allow for anything fancy where you get the reversals and all kinds of doodad plays. I think it will just be straight ahead football, power against power, see who wins.
And as the game wears on, the footing is going to get worse and worse. Give again to Nick Lorenzo this time. He picks about 2 yards, maybe 3 up toward the 30. Let's call it 3rd and 5 for West Geauga at the West G 30-yard line.
I'm sure West Geauga wants to get the momentum, keep it going their way by getting this first down, maybe another 1 or 2, show that they can move the ball again, establish themselves in this second half. Chardon's mission is to stop them here, get the ball back, try to get back into this game on the scoreboard.
3rd and 5 at the 30-yard line. Wide to the left comes Sterling. Or in the motion right is Chris Varus. Julian takes it across the 35 out to about the 39-yard line.
Yeah, notice a different strategy by Chardon defensively here. Normally you have Fred Kyle playing the safety position, Jeff Plima playing the monster position. They align in that method, but when a man goes in motion, in essence, Kyle becomes the monster man, trails after him. Plima drops back to cover the safety position. I don't know exactly what the purpose of that is, but we'll have to see if it comes into play later on in this ball game.
4th down for West G. They're across the 30 out to about the 32-yard line. It'll be 4th and 3. Rick Rowan again will come on to punt.
Have to see what Rowan does here, because in essence he's punting from one of the better spots in the field. I noticed when he was punting for the muddy situations before, he was shortening up, not taking his full high leg extension on that. He was kind of just keeping the footing, making sure the footing, getting the kick off, and doing a very effective job of it. We'll have to see if this time we might get the better extension. But it turned out with the measurement, West Geauga got the first down, so we'll have to wait to see what Mr. Rowan does when it happens.
Actually, talking there about Rowan really helped him a lot when it really came down to it. He got off some good punts in that first half in spite of these terrible weather conditions.
Yeah, really surprised at it. Rowan shanked one, but short of that, the kicking game has been fairly sound this evening for both squads, doing a good job adjusting. Because kicking, you know, it's tough to plant 2 feet when you only have 1 foot planted. That makes it twice as difficult.
West Geauga football at the 39-yard line, 1st and 10. Sabraco comes in motion right. John Quinlan, the quarterback, pitches the ball to Julian. Julian hit out of bounds at the 40-yard line by a horde of Chardon players. Chief among them, Dave Scanlon, whose number is once again about to disappear. Ed Zaletsky was also in on the play. We'll call it a gain of 1. It'll be 2nd and 9 at the 40-yard line.
Ed Zaletsky is one of the most extremely mobile nosemen I've ever seen. He's right on the ball, and yet plays it string to the outside and all. He has the quickness to get out there, get involved in the play itself. Besides coming in for his nose tackle position on a straight line and getting sacks and losses in the backfield. Ed Zaleski does an outstanding position from that nose.
2nd and 9, rolling to his right is Quinlan, and he's going to be smothered. John Quinlan will be buried back around the 30-yard line. It's going to be a 10-yard loss. It'll bring up 3rd and forever for West G, back around the 30.
Yeah, those are a couple of big defensive plays for Chardon, something they need to get themselves back going into this game. Because right now, at this point, it's still going West Geauga's way. They kind of broke the hearts of Chardon somewhat, getting that 18 seconds left in the first half score to take over the lead. This is what Chardon needed to do, get themselves pumped up again by making a good defensive stand so they can get back into it momentum-wise.
Wide to the left comes Roethlisberger. In the slot left is Sabraco. Tight to the right is Blasey. Lorenzo left, Julian right in the tee. The give is to Nick Lorenzo. Breaks a tackle and bulls his way across the 35 out to about the 36-yard line. It's a gain of 6. He will be well short of the first down. It is 4th and 13 for West G at the West G 36-yard line. And once again, the Wolverines and Rick Rowan will be forced to punt.
Yeah, surprisingly, coming out of that fullback spot, I believe that's only the 3rd carry for Lorenzo this evening. It's been pretty much ball put in the air or handed to Julian. That's been the offense for West Geauga.
Once again, a low snap, but Rowan gets it off quickly, and that ball hits right in the mud and sits there. And I don't know whether the Chardon player touched it or not. We'll find out. We'll find out. I believe it's going to be West Geauga's football. I believe that Mike Lynn touched the ball, and West Geauga got it back. It was not Daryl Kalura, excuse me, it was Leif Johnson. Now we're going to find out here. Now, the question that's going on the field is, did a Chardon player touch the ball? And if it is, it's West Geauga's ball.
There's the first indication by a referee.
And the indication by the referee is a Chardon player did not touch the ball, so therefore it is Chardon's football. Back at about the 43-yard line of the Wolverines. To tell you what this field is, we saw that kick by Rowan hit the ground at the 43-yard line and came to a dead halt.
Point up. Did you notice that?
Yes.
It was like it was going to be a place kick of some sort. It was like in a kicking stand.
1st and 10 from the 43-yard line. Scolaris in motion left. Here's the give to Lynn. Lynn across the 45 to the 47. It's thrown down there by Daryl Kalura. Number 57 also in on the play for West Geauga is Mike Kristoff. Number 86. Gain of about 4. It'll be 2nd and 6 for Chardon at the 47-yard line of the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, that was a nice little straight up the middle hole. Good blocking up front by Jim Silk and Chuck Trzynski, the center on that play, to give a little lane for Lynn to do his power running.
Scolaris in the slot right now. He comes in motion left, and the give is to Scolaris crossing left, and that didn't fool anybody. Scolaris thrown for a loss at the 46 in there on the play for West Geauga. Big Mike Petronis, number 78, threw him for that 1-yard loss. It'll be 3rd and 7 now for Chardon back at the 46-yard line.
Yeah, here's a big play in the second half for Chardon to get going again. They could use a huge one right now to get themselves the first down, start to establish their offense, something that's essentially been pretty much non-existent. They haven't had that much in the way of yardage or first downs this evening. West Geauga is shutting them down rather well.
Howard Joyner, the sophomore quarterback, brings him up and he rolls to throw. Steps up, fires it. It is tipped and almost intercepted. That was a close call down there. Leif Johnson almost pulled it down, number 52, but he couldn't hold on to the football. It'll bring up 4th down, 4th and 7 for Chardon at the Chardon 46-yard line, and the Hilltoppers will be forced to punt.
Yeah, like you said, Joe, Leif Johnson on that particular play did a very good defensive job, almost had the interception, made himself unrecognizable at that point because he landed on his back, and then when he realized he couldn't have the interception, turned around, pounded his fist on the ground, got his front all soaked. He's just covered with mud now, front and back.
Mike Scolaris will do the punting. He gets a good snap and a high, booming kick by Scolaris over the head of Julian. It's going to roll toward the end zone. It's going to roll dead down around the, looks like about the West Geauga 7-yard line. A very effective punt by Mike Scaleras. I'll tell you, in incredibly poor weather conditions. We have timeout on the field. 6:49 to play here in the third quarter with our score. West Geauga 12, Chardon 7. We'll be back after this timeout on Cablevision. At the 7-yard line, the give is to Julian. He takes it out to the 10, and flags are flying. 6:33 to play here in the third quarter. And I believe that'll be a holding call.
Yeah, I think you're right, Joe, especially you see the Chardon players clapping, so whatever it is, I'm sure it's against West Geauga. Putting them deeper in the hole. That was an outstanding punt by Scaleras, and oddly enough, again, he was in one of the muddier sections of the field. That seems to be where tonight's punters seem to be getting their best footing for some ungodly reason I don't have any idea on.
Absolutely. We're going to watch the referees mark this penalty against the West Geauga Wolverines.
Yeah, they're definitely way back. The ball is, what, about the half-yard line, yard line? It's way down there where now is not the time where you want to miss snap or something, because at minimum, I'm sure it will be 2 points for Chardon.
And more likely 6. First down and 11, and back around the half-yard line. Here's the give to Julian. He picks up maybe a yard or two. We'll call it the 2. Maybe a yard and a half. It'll be second down and about 10 for West G at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, I saw Chuck Cox came blitzing in from his linebacker position on that one. That was the case where Chardon was going to get the 2 points, try to get the quick quarterback snap, or hopefully he was going in the right area, or the ball carrier was coming his direction. He could have got him for the 2 points.
Second down, and, well, we're still going to call it 12, back around the 2. Quinlan again gives the ball to Julian. He breaks a tackle and fights his way out toward the 5. It's thrown down there by Dave Scanlon. Bill Vincicera was also in on the play. It'll be third down from the 5-yard line and about 7 yards to go.
Yeah, this is a tough ground area to move in right now. You don't have much room. Now they got a little more breathing room that they had earlier, but still it's nothing much to brag about. The Rowan again is going to be forced if West Geauga doesn't obtain a first down in this play to be punting under difficult circumstances.
Third down and 7. Here's the give to Julian. Julian fights his way out toward the 10. In fact, he stopped at about the 9-yard line. He picked up 4 yards, but he will be short of the first down, and West Geauga will be forced to punt.
Tell you, Joe, that was a saving tackle by Chuck Cox in that particular play, because the secondary Chardon was all shifted over to the right, aligning with the West Geauga offensive alignment. And if he could have gotten by Cox, I think Julian could have just taken the ball completely all the way down the field for a touchdown.
Fourth down, about 3. Rick Rowan to do the punting. Deep to receive, Howard Joyner and Mike Lynn. This time Rowan gets off a low short kick that's going to hit around the 30-yard line and roll dead right there. In fact, it'll roll dead at about the 29. So it'll be first and 10 for Chardon at the West Geauga 29-yard line after the short punt. Thanks, of course, in large part to lousy weather. It'll be first and 10 at the 29.
Yeah, that's a big break for Chardon, but then again, it's one that they really have to capitalize on, or it's momentum-wise, it could kind of break their hearts and put them in a hole for the rest of the game. It's almost up to Chardon to put it in the end zone, or they could, momentum-wise, again, put themselves out of the game, because they've been handed one, and if they don't execute on it, they could be in trouble.
First and 10 at the 29. We're under the 4-minute mark now here in the third quarter, and the give is to Mike Scaleras. Takes it down to the 26. He was hit down there by number 69, Frank Kalo, a senior lineman. Gain of 3. It'll be second down and 7.
Yeah, that was a good little lane open up for Scaleras to do his running on. This is what Chardon needs. Good, safe handling plays. Get a little bit of the drive going so they can get that ball into scoring range real easily.
Second down and 7 at the 26-yard line as the Hilltoppers break the huddle. Tight to the right comes Neely. Now we're going to have a timeout. Chardon calls for a timeout. So with this timeout, we'll take timeout. 3:13 to play here in the third quarter with our score. West Geauga 12, Chardon 7. We'll be back after this timeout on 8 seconds to play here in the third quarter. Joe Scarola along with John Walsh here at Stretch Howell Field at Chesterland, Ohio, on the grounds of West Geauga High School, as Howard Joyner pitches the football to Mike Lynn, I believe that is. Oh, that was Jeff Palima, wasn't it? Yeah, it was Jeff Palima. He's across the 25 to about the 23, a gain of 3 more. It'll be 3rd and 4 for Chardon at the West G 23.
Yeah, that's odd, putting in Palima to backs up the tackle. He's a starting monster man for the Chardon defense, and is a backup halfback at both the halfback positions and all. But it's rare to see where you get a critical situation like this where Chardon has to keep the drive going to hand it to essentially an inexperienced offensive player.
3rd down and 4. Coming in motion left is Mike Lynn. Here's the pitch to Palima, and he is thrown down on a beautiful defensive play for no gain. Mike Petronis, number 78, came knifing through to make a brilliant tackle, holding Palima to no gain. It'll be 4th down and 4 for Chardon at the 23-yard line.
And I would guess again Chardon is going to go for it here because the kicking games you just can't count on. And this way they would have West Geauga, even if they don't execute the play properly, have them down on the far side deep on the field that they want them at.
It's tough to even have a kicking game in this quagmire that we're witnessing out here. Of course, I don't know how well you can see it on the, well, I can see how you can see it on the screen. I mean, there are large puddles of water out here. Chardon will go for it on 4th and 4 from the West G 23. Rolling to his right is Joyner. He throws. It is caught out there by O'Pattern. He breaks the tackle. 20, 15, 10-5, touchdown. Whoa. Jim O'Pattern in for the score, and Chardon leads at 13-12.
Excellent running by O'Pattern after he received the pass. It was a good job of Joyner getting the ball to him. Good reception by O'Pattern, but I think it would have been a little bit short. There was one defender that came up, and I seriously don't believe O'Pattern had the first down. He had to break that tackle, and then he just put a couple jukes on later on, found his way in the end zone.
In fact, actually, I don't know how O'Pattern slipped out of that one tackle, and it looked like he was really wrapped up there. He managed to slide through it and get to the outside. Then he made a great cut back to the inside around the 10-yard line, and that's what put him in the end zone.
Fine running by O'Pattern.
Chardon will go for 2. Wide to the right comes Waycobb, and we're going to have a penalty.
What do you think on that last play, Joe? Do you think O'Pattern had the first down when that one defender that you talked about?
No, I think if that defender had thrown him down there, I think he would have been stopped short.
I believe he would have too. So that play was just a tribute. Well, that score was a tribute to just the pure talents of Jim O'Pattern.
Looked to me like he was as much as a yard short of the first down when he broke out of that tackle, broke free from that tackle there.
Believe so. It's just a case of a player wanting to do it. He's been squelched pretty well this evening. That was his one occasion to get back into it and do his job as a senior running back.
And Chardon will go for it here on the 4th down, and for the 2-point conversion, they won't make it. Pattern carrying the ball again, this time going nowhere. We have timeout on the field. 1 minute, 38 seconds to play here in the third quarter. With our score, Chardon 13, West Geauga 12. We'll be back after this timeout on cable quarter. Stretch Howell Field at West Geauga High School. And thanks to a beautiful 24-yard catch and run by Jim O'Pattern, Chardon has taken the lead 13-12, and Chuck Straczynski with another short kick. It's still a live ball, and Sabraco picks it up at about the 20, takes it across the 25 to about the 26. It'll be 1st and 10 for West G at their own 26-yard line.
Yeah, ordinarily that ball would have went out of bounds. It looked like it died just a hair short of the line there, which is fortunate for the Chardon group, who would have had to kick it 5 yards back. There's no question that one was going to be a low on-the-ground kick because kickoff man Straczynski didn't even tee the ball up. He kind of just set it down in the ground, so it was going to be one of those ground squibblers.
First and 10 for West G at the 26-yard line. Sobraco wide to the left. Quinlan rolling it toward the sideline, and it's intercepted by Dave Scanlon at the 40. No, that's Bill Vincicara, excuse me, who intercepted the ball at the 40-yard line for Chardon. And the Hilltoppers get a big break on the turnover, and they have a chance to take complete control of this ball game as they have the football first and 10 at the West G 40-yard line following the interception.
Yeah, it was a poor choice by quarterback Quinlan, who never should have put the ball up. The receiver was defended extremely well. He was sandwiched between two Chardon defenders. They had very good coverage on him, and it was just one of those unfortunate choices that went against West Geauga that occasion.
58 seconds to play here in the third quarter as Chardon breaks the huddle, and they have the football first and 10 at the West G 40. Here's the give to Michael Lynn. He takes the ball to the 36-yard line. He's knocked down there by a horde of West G players. Mike Petronis, number 78. In on the tackle, also in there, Mike Kristoff, number 88, a gain of 4. It'll be second and 6 at the 36-yard line for Chardon.
Yeah, this is a point in the game where watching Chardon in earlier games, it seems to be the Mike Lynn hour, where Coach Doyle seems to like his sure-handedness, his straightforward, up-the-middle type of play. Once he gets a lead, he kind of protects it by just giving the ball to Lynn on sure, straight-ahead football.
Second down 6 at with 16 seconds to play. This will be the last play of the third quarter. Joyner rolling to his right, looking to throw. Fires it down the middle. It is caught by Skolaritz, and he's down inside the 5 at about the 2-yard line for a first down.
Well, so much for looking at trends. As I mentioned, I thought Bob Doyle would go very conservative right now and hand the ball straight up on safe plays to Lynn. But he opened the game up. Surprised me, surprised West Geauga, obviously, because Skolaritz is well behind the West G defenders, a little bit underthrown by quarterback Joyner, who, if he could have got the ball out in front of him, Skolaritz could have walked into the end zone very, very easy.
That's the end of the third quarter with our score. Chardon 14, West Geauga 12. We'll be back at the Century 21 On the Square professionals are dedicated to helping. Fourth quarter action about to ensue here at Stretch Howell Field at West Geauga High School. Joe Scarola along with John Walsh on Cablevision. It's first and goal for the Chardon Hilltoppers to the 4-yard line. Joyner fumbles the snap and falls on it immediately. He's covered up there by a number of muddy West G defenders. No gain. It'll be second and goal from the 4.
That was a good choice by Joyner, not trying to pick up the ball, make something out of it, because you're down in the position on the field right now where you don't want the air. You got to take the safe thing. You may lose a yard on the fumble snap, but that beats the heck out of having a turnover in a position where your momentum is built up. You're heading in towards getting the score. Good choice by quarterback Joyner.
11:24 to play here in the ball game. Chardon leads at 14-12, and they have the ball second and goal. In fact, the ball is back at the West G 6-yard line. Joyner rolling to his right, looking into the end zone, fires. It's in and out of the hands of Wakub. At least that looks like Wakub rather than Neely. I think we see 86 down there rather than 89. It'll be third and goal now for Chardon.
This is a bit premature, especially since we've had good defensive work out of West Geauga, but it'll be interesting to see if Chardon does push us in, since they're on the better end of the field as far as mud conditions and all, if they'll go for the 1-point kick, which will give them the 8-point lead, or if they're trying to get 2 to kind of salt it away to putting West Geauga in a 2-score position. Interesting to see what they do if they do happen to get the ball in the end zone, but they still got that roughly 8 yards to go.
Third and goal, call the ball at about the 7-yard line. Joyner back to throw, fires into the end zone. It is intercepted. He overthrew it, and it's intercepted down there. That looks like Sobraco. No, excuse me, it's number 47, Jim Troha, who made the interception. 47, not 37. And West Geauga gets a big break, and on the touchback, they'll take over first and 10 at their own 20-yard line. I think somebody blew a pattern, and Howard Joyner threw the ball to a spot, and there was nobody there.
Well, there was somebody there. There was the West Geauga defenders. I think, again, that was just like I mentioned earlier, Quinlan made a wrong choice of throwing into too much coverage. I think quarterback Joyner made the wrong choice in that particular one, throwing it in the area that was far too covered with West Geauga players. We had the trade of trade-off of turnovers. We're back to straight-ahead football again.
I have an idea. Somebody was supposed to make a side adjustment and didn't make it on that play. And the give is to Julian, or that's Lorenzo, rather. Lorenzo's thrown down for a loss at the 18-yard line. He lost 2. It'll be 2nd and 12.
Yeah, again, we had real good penetration by that Chardon up front. I believe it was Zaletsky again coming out of his nose tackle position to get in on the loss on the running back that play.
2nd down, 12 yards to go. Wide to the left is Roethlisberger for West Geauga. In the slot left is Chris Varus. Tight to the right is Blasey, Lorenzo left, and Julian right in the tee. The give to John Julian, rather, a big hole. Julian across the 20 out to about the 23-yard line. The hole was filled quickly by Chuck Cox, who threw him down there after a short gain. Well, it wasn't really a short gain. It was about a 6-yard gain, but still it'll bring up 3rd and 6.
Yeah, he was helped out by Scanlon and Bill Bailey on that play, who helped out Cox on that particular tackle. Good, strong running by Julian. He definitely is one of the premier running backs. As I mentioned earlier in the game, we got 2 of the better ones in the league in this game, between Julian and O'Patterney.
So you look at the backs of the ball players, you can see how wet this field is. Here's the give again to Julian across the 25, breaks tackle 30, 35, 40, and he's knocked out of bounds around the 43-yard line of West Geauga. A big gain for John Julian. He picked up 19 yards and a 1st down.
Yeah, it was somewhat of a saving tackle again on that one by Jeff Plima, coming out of his position to make that tackle after Julian had shook off a couple of Chardon defenders up the field a little bit. If he had got by Plima, there'd have been only one more man, safety man Fred Kyle, who was handing there, and Julian was on a better part of a field where he might have been able to put on one of his magical moves and go away for 6. Dangerous running back.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. In the slot left is Sabraco. Here's the give to Julian. He's cut down for no gain this time at the 43. Ed Seletsky and Todd Lee made the tackle. No gain. 2nd and 10 for West G at the West G 43 with 9:05 and the clock running.
Yeah, that was just too quick a hitter, I think. Julian didn't get too much time. The play hit so rapidly that the offensive lineman didn't get much of an opportunity to open up a hole, because immediately upon the snap, Julian was right on their backs. They really didn't have time to establish the play.
May have been designed as a slow developing play, and he got to the hole just a little too quickly before they had a chance to open it up. Here's the give to Julian, 45 up to the 49, close to midfield. It's thrown down there by Dave Scanlon. We'll give him midfield, a gain of 7 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 3 for West Geauga at the midfield stripe.
Yeah, I noticed on that play. I didn't notice in the previous one where we had the quick hitter there by Julian. But West Geauga is creeping up. They're fairly close to the line of scrimmage, the backs I'm alluding to. And I don't know if that's meant to be or if they're just coming up just a little bit for whatever reason, but they don't seem to have their normal drop depth.
3rd and 3 at the 49. The give is to Julian, and he slipped on his initial step after he picked up the ball. He slipped as he was making his cut back into the middle of the field, and he's thrown down after, in fact, no gain. They'll mark him right at midfield. It'll be 4th down and about a yard, and now we're going to have timeout for a measurement, although I can see right here that he is well short of the 1st down, although he would have gotten the 1st down easily had he been able to stay on his feet.
Yeah, very much so, but then again, that's a tribute to this field out here, who is definitely like a 3rd team on the field. It's Chardon against West Geauga, with the field also playing a major role in this game. Yes. Right.
And the field is winning, as you would expect.
Well, what do you think, Joe? Is Coach Poe's guy going to go into some gambling here and try to get it?
Probably depends on how he assesses the field condition at this point of the field. It's pretty messy.
Well, they're going for it,
right
though.
Around the 50-yard line. They are going for it.
It's a dangerous gamble if they don't succeed.
4th and about a yard at midfield. 7:41 to play, and the give is to Julian, and he takes it for the 1st down. Yeah. 1st and 10 for West G at the Chardon 48-yard line.
Yeah, paid off that time for West Geauga, but I don't know. I seriously don't think I would have gone for it. We still have over 7.5 minutes left in this game. It's not like West Geauga is the final ticks where they got to go. They're going to get this ball back. I think I would have safely kicked it away, but Coach Posguy's strategy did pay off. They have first down, still possession, still driving.
I think Mike wants to go into that final 5 minutes having the lead rather than go into the final 5 minutes trying to win the ball game. Here's the give to Julian, 45-40, down around the 39-yard line. And it looks like he has picked up enough for another West Geauga first down. Maybe a little bit short here. We'll see. He is. They're going to mark him down at about the 39, and that'll leave him about a yard short of the first down. It'll be 2nd and 1.
As this game has progressed, Joe, I guess I'll have to agree with one of your earlier comments. It's possible that running back John Julian is a mutter because he seems to be having no problem with the traction for straight ahead runs. He still isn't using the moves he normally does, so it's affecting him there.
2nd down, a yard, and again the give to Julian, 35, 30, 25, cuts the outside. He's going to go all the way for a West Geauga touchdown. He slipped and fell just as he was crossing the end line, but he had enough balance to get into the end zone, and West Geauga takes the lead.
I saw that one. He had excellent up front blocking by the left side of his line, keyed by Steve Henke and Frank Talaco, who did just an outstanding job giving him the lane to open up with. And then again, Mother Nature helped him. I saw the Chardon's safety man, Fred Kyle, started to move over to get an angle on Julian. Footing slipped. He went down. The field was wide open for Julian. Good running, good up front blocking by West Geauga group.
So West Geauga with the score, John Julian's 2nd touchdown of the game. This one, a very impressive run of 39 yards to go along with his 16-yard run earlier in the game. Once again, West G will go for 2. And we have a penalty flag down the field. Whistles are blowing, and I believe that West Geauga is going to be called for a delay of game.
I think so, Joe, because they blew it immediately as the play was starting, didn't allow it to get off, so that's about the only thing that could happen in that situation. Okay, well, we'll see. West Geauga is definitely going to be going for the 2, which makes sense in this case. The way the game sits right now, another Chardon touchdown will put them back into the lead. 2 makes them forced into a situation where they will have to go for that extra point to tie. So there's no question that with the point spread the way it is right now, West Geauga is definitely going to be going for the 2.
Wide to the right is Sabraco. Wide to the left is Veras. Quinlan rolling to his right, looking to throw, fires it into the end zone. It is caught and then dropped by Blasey. No, that's Nick Lorenzo, rather, and he would not have had enough to get into the end zone anyway. So the extra point attempt, the 2-point conversion, unsuccessful. 6 minutes, 30 seconds to play in the ball game with our score. West Geauga 18, Chardon 13. We'll be back after this timeout on cable. Joe Benet will kick off for Chardon, and there's a bouncer right down the middle, and it's taken by Mike Lynn. He's playing there as an up back. Lynn takes it across the 45 out to about the 46-yard line, and that's where Chardon will have the football in their own territory. 1st and 10 with 6 minutes and 24 seconds to play of the ball game, and West Geauga holding an 18-13 lead.
Yeah, I see Coach Doyle did one thing different. That's the second one Mike Lynn has had the opportunity to return tonight. Normally he's a deep man, but he put him in the center of the field as one of the short people. He's got one of his better returners working up in a position where he can touch the ball for him tonight, because I'm sure Coach Doyle expected with these conditions there'll be a lot of kicks like we have seen on kickoffs.
First and 10 at the 46-yard line. Howard Joyner gives the football to Patterney. He picks up at best a yard. In fact, I'd say he was actually thrown for about a yard loss. We'll call it 2nd and 11 at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was a case of 14 or what it was exactly, but like I mentioned earlier, West Geauga seemed to be getting the play up to the line of scrimmage too quickly. That time I thought there was some sort of delay where Chardon wasn't getting it quite up there as near as rapidly as they would like to. It was a very slow developing play.
Second down for the Chardon Hilltoppers. In the slot left is Palima. It's O'Patterney left and Lynn right in the tee. Joyner, let's see, he has the football and he's thrown down for a loss at the 40-yard line. Howard Joyner fooled me, I'll tell you. He made a good fake into the middle of the line, but he did not fool that West Geauga defense. Mike Petronis, number 78, was right in there. He sure didn't fall for that fake. It'll be third down all the way back at the 40-yard line, 3rd and 16.
Yeah, they marked Joyner's ball up a little bit further than where he was sacked, because as he was coming out of the center position, he lost his footing, slipped down to one knee, so they moved the ball where he was down at that point.
Third down, and actually they'll call it 13 up around the 43-yard line. In the slot right is Scolaris. Joyner rolling to his left in heavy trouble, fires it upfield. Wide open down there is Scolaris, but it was a helium ball tipped away beautifully by the West Geauga defense, and the man who tipped it away down there was number 8, Steve Darris. It'll be 4th down, and now Bob Doyle is faced with an interesting decision, and with the yardage that he has to go, I'd say that he's got to punt it right here.
Yeah, I would think so. He still has timeouts left where he can go. He's got 4.5 minutes left in this game. Plenty of time. He should get, if his defense does their job, he should get the ball back, so it's not a panic situation again. Like Joe alluded to, he's got 12 yards to pick up, not just a foot like West Geauga did earlier.
4th down and 13, and Scolaris will do the punting. It's a high, fairly short kick taken on the run by Darris across the 35 out to about the 37-yard line. That's where West G will have the football, 1st and 10.
Now I suppose strategies for the two teams. West Geauga wants to control that ball, eat up as much time as they possibly can. Chardon, it's up to their defense to stop them to 3 downs, force them to punt in the 4th one. We'll see who wins this critical battle. That's going to be ensuing here right in front of our eyes.
I'd like to remind the folks down in the truck, yes, guys, we do owe you a timeout, and we'll get it at the next break in the action here. 1st and 10 for West Geauga at the 43-yard line. And John Quinlan gives the ball to John Julian, and Julian fights his way out to about the 49. It's thrown down there by Chuck Cox. Also in on the play for Chardon was Bill Bailey, number 42. Make it a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5 for West G at the 49-yard line.
I expect we should see nothing fancy here from West Geauga. They should just do those straight up the middles, the little off-tackle slants and all. Just maintain the ball on the ground. Try to eat up that clock, because now you're in a position where conservative play will help you a lot. The clock is definitely in your favor. You want to eat it up as much as you can, get it even more so in that direction.
It's rolling with 3:21 to play. Again, the give to Julian. He gets it up to midfield, picks up maybe another yard. That'll bring up 3rd down for West Geauga. 3rd down and 3 yards to go.
Yeah, it's a very important play coming up here for both teams. West Geauga again wants to keep possession, eat up that clock, because they have the lead comfortably, and it's up to Chardon right now to establish their defense and hold them at this point.
Right now we have a timeout on the field. 3 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the ball game with our score. West Geauga 18, Chardon 13. We'll be back after this timeout on Cablevision. 3 minutes and 5 seconds to play in the ball game. West Geauga with the football, 3rd and 4 at midfield. The give is to Julian. He picks up a yard, maybe 2, down to the 48. That'll leave West G with 4th and 2, and of course with a 5-point lead. I'm sure the Wolverines in this situation will be punting it back to the Chardon Hilltoppers. So Bob Doyle's defense does the job for him. You know, it's interesting, you know, you have 2 coaches in this ball game who have coached together in the past. Bob Doyle and Mike Posguy, both assistants to Joe Malmaser at Hiram University back in the late 70s, before Bob Doyle went to Chardon, and then Mike Posguy matriculated to Akron Coventry High School, where he was the head coach for 2 years before returning to his alma mater at West Geauga, where he had coached for 9 years as an assistant previous to moving to Hiram. We're going to have another flag here, and it's going to be a delay of game against West G.
I think that was a case where they just want to eat up as much time as possible, but that's like a 5-yard free gain for Chardon on that one. You still like to get the ball off, maybe with a second or two left before you have to execute the play, but well, it just works to, well, I guess we have a timeout called out here. I see the coaches coming out on the field.
I'd like to apologize to all of you folks out there who may have attended Hiram. It's not Hiram University, it's Hiram College. And I should know that because they played a lot of football and basketball games against my alma mater, John Carroll. So I apologize to all you Hiram folks out there. It's Hiram College, not Hiram University. Excuse me. Excuse me out there.
I don't think anybody would take offense right now, Joe.
4th down, and Rick Rowan, after the penalty, will do the punting once again for the West Geauga Wolverines. Deep to receive, and single safety for Chardon is Mike Lynn. He's standing around the 20-yard line. Rowan gets a good snap, boots it. It's a line drive. It's going to roll to Lynn at the 20, 25, breaks the tackle, fights his way out to about the 28-yard line. Thrown down there by a horde of muddy West G defenders. It'll be 1st and 10 for Chardon. We'll mark the ball at the Chardon 28-yard line. The Chardon Hilltoppers have 2 minutes and 6 seconds left on the clock, and horrible field positions. I gotta say right now, John, West G is really holding all the cards.
Oh yeah, very much, because now they have, like you mentioned, the wet field position is shifted over to being on their side. It makes it tough to establish an offense, but I don't know, one play can do it. All you can get is the defender falling down where it opens up and all that. One of the backs taking it, but I'd have to say in the long run it definitely favors the team who has a clock on their side, the score on their side, and a miserable field position.
In fact, it is so wet on the sidelines now that the coaches actually have almost as much mud on them as the players do. And take a good look out there. Took a good look out there as Mike Posguy and Bob Doyle ran out on the field to talk to their respective teams. They've got almost as much mud on them as the players do at this point in the game, John. That tells you how wet it is out there.
Oh yeah, because as you're running onto the field to talk to your squad and all, the mud and the rain is just kicking onto you. Your pants are soaked. Some of it goes up even higher. Get your shirt all soaked and all. It's just a miserable condition to be playing football under, but at the moment, it's not as miserable for the West Geauga squad because they hold a 5-point margin.
And I would not want to be the person who has to pick up that towel that is sitting there out around the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 for Chardon. Howard Joyner rolling to his right, looking to throw, steps up, fires. It is caught by Neely across the 45 out to the 48-yard line. He picked up a 13-yard gain on that play, and it's a 1st down. 1st and 10 for Chardon at the Chardon 48-yard line.
Yeah, that was just a nice little drag over the middle slant by Chardon, running a safe little pass. Joyner threw the ball nice and low that time, so either it was caught by Neely or it wouldn't have been caught at all. Just a good execution of a well-conceived play.
Clock is running, 1 minute and 47 seconds to play in the ball game. Joyner rolls to his right, steps up, and he's knocked down at about the 48, 49-yard line. Picks up about 2 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd and 8.
But more importantly for Chardon on that, Joyner had the presence to get himself out of bounds to stop that clock. Could serve as much time as he possibly could on that particular play. Good headsy play by Joyner.
Second down and 8 for Chardon. The Chardon Hilltoppers trying to put together a last-ditch drive. The West Geauga Wolverines trying to hang on to a 5-point lead. 1 minute and 40 seconds to play in the ball game. Howard Joyner brings up the Chardon Hilltoppers, and he drops to throw. Stepping into the pocket, Moves up, fires, it is caught and then dropped by Scolaris, who got an outstanding hit from Steve. No, that's not Steve Darris, excuse me. It was Bill Coach who made the tackle. Excuse me, it was Bill Coach who made the play, not the tackle. He hit Scolaris perfectly. He had perfect timing right there, knocked him down, knocked the ball. Hands, and it'll be third down.
Yeah, it was a well-thrown play, a good reception. Like Joe said, it was just an excellent defensive play by Coach, who timed his hit properly just as the receiver touched it. He hit him in the back, causing him to cough up the ball. Very good defensive play by Coach.
Bill Coach has made several fine plays this ball game. Here's the give to Scolaris on the draw. Scolaris across midfield to about the 46-yard line. He got a good gain out of the play, but not good enough for a first down. It'll be 4th and about 2 for Chardon at the 46-yard line of West G. And I believe at this time the Chardon Hilltoppers will call for timeout with 1 minute and 27 seconds to play in the ball game. I'll take this opportunity to remind you that, of course, next week, same time, same place, same channel, you'll see more outstanding CVC football action on Cablevision, Channel 9 at 7 o'clock Monday and Thursday nights. You'll see the best in local area high school football from the Chagrin Valley Conference. We can't tell you in advance what games we'll have because of our agreements with the schools involved. We can tell you that you'll see either Chardon, West Geauga, Chagrin Falls, or Kenston. You'll see at least one of those teams every week, and maybe more than one. So get football action on Cablevision. You'll find it every week right here on Cablevision Channel 9 on Monday and Thursday evenings at 7 o'clock. 4th down and 2 for the Chardon Hilltoppers. It's do or die for Chardon. In the slot left is Scolaris. Now Lynn comes in motion right, and we're going to have a penalty for illegal motion, I believe. I think somebody else jumped and went in motion on the left side, John. Had 2 people going in motion there, and that's what they called, I believe.
Yeah, it's strange that you could have a problem like that occurring on a play where, no, it was called on West Geauga.
It was. Must have been an offside. Maybe somebody lined up in the neutral zone and touched a Chardon offensive player. It's a, boy, that's a surprise
I think
to
it must
me.
have been lining up.
It had to be what it was.
In defense of the players and all, it is tough to get your perspective of where the lines are because there are no lines in this field.
That's a 1st and 10 for Chardon. They get the break on the penalty. Howard Joyner rolling to his right, moves out in that rolling pocket, fires it short for Scolaris at the 25-yard line. He threw it just short enough so that his own man, Scolaris, couldn't catch it, just high enough so that a defender, Bill Coach, could not make a play on the ball.
Yeah, you can see by this pass-oriented offense Chardon is coming up with all of a sudden that Coach Doyle is trying to take away the muddy field position advantage that West Geauga has right now, figuring a receiver going out knows where his cuts are. You get better chances, defenders dropping right there, so he's putting all his faith into the muddy field and going to the passing game.
Howard Joyner, the young sophomore, threw only 30 passes in the first 5 games of the season. He's rolling to the left, fires now, and it's intercepted. It is intercepted down there by West Geauga, and it's intercepted there. Now I see the number. It's Leif Johnson, number 52, who made the interception. And I think we could say safely after that interception by Johnson that this one belongs to the West Geauga Wolverines with 1:13 to play in the ball game, and West Geauga holding a 5-point lead, 18-13.
Yeah, I think it's pretty well. West Geauga has definitely time on their side. Chardon, I believe, has 1 timeout at best left. It's just going to be a case of center Bill Van Horn snapping the ball back to Quinlan, him taking his 2-step drop back, dropping the 1 knee, killing it off on his successive plays, and that should be how this ball game ends.
Now we're going to have another timeout.
Oh, they call it for too much
delay
time.
Of game, excuse me, delay of game against West G. Now we're going to have a timeout. West G's going to call one. Well, I just jumped the gun a little bit, I guess. West G calling a timeout with 52 seconds to play in the game, holding an 18-13 lead. I'm sure that what Mike Poe's guy is trying to stress here is hold on to the football.
Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be directed right at, like I said, center Bill Van Horn and quarterback John Quinlan. Those are the only two that should be touching the ball at all for West Geauga in these next 3 plays or 2 plays, whatever we happen to have to run this game out. Is they're just going to get their proper snap between the 2 men, have the execution where quarterback Quinlan goes, run some seconds off the clock, force Chardon to take the 1 timeout if it is still left, and run the ball game out, go into the locker room with a well-deserved victory this evening.
I'd like to thank all the folks from the respective schools, of course, visiting Chardon Hilltoppers, Athletic Director Gary Hanlon, head football coach Bob Doyle. From West Geauga, of course, head football coach and athletic director Mike Posguy, all of the outstanding people up here in the booth. Karen O'Brattle, our press box bouncer, who is now the statistician up here in the box as Quinlan falls on the football. And Tom Krebs, the outstanding PA announcer here, who keeps us entertained during the games. All the fine people here at West G. Lynn Malm, secretary to Mike Posguy, who gets us all those big statistics there before the game. And also, of course, our Cablevision crew, which tonight includes Mark Dolan directing down in the truck, and we've got on cameras tonight Bill Shade so down on the field, and Steve Karchevsky up here to our left. And, of course, the erstwhile Robert Preston. No, he is not the same man who appeared in Victor Victoria. And we have a delay of game there against West Geauga. Cablevision General Manager Dave Jevnikar was here coordinating things in the booth for the first half of the ball game. And of course, my sidekick here, John Walsh, who helps us bring all that wonderful action. 10 seconds to play, and we have timeout on the field now as West Geauga gets set to come out of the penalty, and this will be the final snap of the football game. John Quinlan rolls back a few yards, sits on that football, and that's it. And a very happy group of West Geauga Wolverines will walk away with an 18-13 victory this evening as the West Geauga Wolverines defeat the Chardon Hilltoppers here in a game of CVC football at Stretch Howell Field on the grounds of West Geauga High School here in Chesterland, Ohio. For the rest of our Cablevision broadcasting crew, and of course especially my partner John Walsh, this is Joe Scarola until our next telecast next Monday, and of course next Thursday night at 7 o'clock here on Cablevision Channel 9. Wishing you a good evening until we see you again. Good night.